As you, after you've put your fondant on, just give it a gentle roll with your rolling pin so that you get a nice flat top to it. And then the next step is really important, that you go around the top couple of centimetres of the cake so that you are actually getting it to cling very closely to the cake, so that later on when you start easing it out and stretching it, it won't stretch over the corner. Sometimes it's possible, if you don't do this, that the cake will cut through the icing and then you're in a lot of trouble. When you're sure that you've got it clinging for that top couple of centimetres, then you can start easing it in around the sides of the cake. You can sort of cup with one hand and stretch with the other, and till it's sitting smoothly all the way around. If you can see it with the camera. You don't want any folds, you want to get it to go down to the base very smoothly without folds. Keep your fingernails out of the way. We've got it all the way down to the bottom. We just want to really make sure it's sticking to the cake. I use jam underneath. But if you're going to use jam, you must spread it on with a knife and then take 95% of it off, so that you've got only the thinnest coating of jam. That will be enough to stick it. If you have a lot of jam, it can just slide around. Okay, now we've got that clinging to the cake. We're not ready to use the smoother yet. We're going to trim away quite a lot of that excess, leave a couple of centimetres around the base of the cake, and just make sure it really is sticking to the cake on the sides. Trim it off. Take that excess icing away. Have a look at it on the underneath side. If there are no cake crumbs there, you can use it for the next cake. Just run your hands around gently, checking that it is sticking well to the cake. Now we're ready to use the smoother. Use the rounded edge of the smoother so that you can press it into the icing that's on the board, and press quite firmly. Keep it very vertical, don't let it slope in or slope out, because you want your sides to be quite perpendicular. And I'm pressing quite hard on the icing that's on the board. I'm not pressing very hard on the cake. I'm just trying to keep the smoother very vertical, and because you've got a bit of depth to that, it's fairly easy to keep that vertical, whereas if it was a thin smoother, it's a lot more difficult to keep it at right angles to the board. Go around it a couple of times, getting it as thin as possible, and then we're going to reverse it and put the sharp edge at the bottom. Once again, we're going to go around the cake. I'm pressing right through the icing. It might or might not cut the excess icing away, but it will certainly almost do so. Then if need be, then you can just run around with a knife to take it off completely. But you'll find that by using the smoother and that sharp edge, you're going all the way to the base of the cake, and you can't really see any cut edge. And we'll go around it again with the smoother shortly to get a really professional finish to it. Okay, tear that away. Let's check it closely. I should have my glasses on. And if you're happy with that, now we can start using the smoother to do the job of smoothing the sides. We can also smooth the top. If you might just like to put a little dusting of corn flour on the surface of it. Not very much, just enough. And that will allow it to move smoothly. Right, now I'm turning the board as I do this, and I'm using a backwards and forwards movement. I've got the sharp edge down, so that's going right down to the base of the cake. Just Just use a relaxed hand as you do it. You might like to do it on a turntable, but I find it slips quite well on the tabletop. Right, and there you are, there's your cake. You know, it's quite fashionable these days to have very square corners and square edges to your cake, so I just want to briefly show you how you can do that. You're probably better off to have 2 smoothers, and then if you're doing the corners, you can just gently move your smoothers in very slowly until they meet at the corner and they pinch away to fullness completely. And then you'll end up with a square corner. You might just give it a tiny touch up where the 2 edges meet, and around the base you'll need to have the sharp edge down and work from one direction and then work from the other direction. Don't try to round it off at that point. They should just meet together. That's not too bad. Right, now if you want to do square edges on the top as well, you need to draw the sides up, have the sharp edge down, and just gently ease your icing up. It takes a little while to do. It's also better if you haven't rolled your icing out too thick, because then you don't have nearly as far to ease it up to. Then you can do the same on the top, push it out, but then it's better if you use the 2 smoothers, because you can put the sharp edge exactly along the top of your cake. No matter what the height of the cake is, just move it up until it's level with the top edge and hold it in place, and then you can smooth the top edge out to meet it. And you can keep playing with that until you're happy with the squareness of it. It takes several minutes to do, so we're not going to put you through watching all of this. But just place it along the top edge and then ease the top one out to meet it. And that's how we can achieve our square edges. Okay. Just one other thing I wanted to mention about, if you're doing a tall cake, you can just turn your smoother on its side and it works just as well sideways, and that way you haven't got a problem with the height of the cake. If you've got a tall cake, you might, and you're working with this way, you might put marks in it, but just turn it on its end and you can make it quite smooth the same way. You can still use that as the chopping edge down the bottom, but then come along later and use it on with the long side. And that's how we use our smoother. Thank you very much for watching. Happy decorating.